morning, everyone. On behalf of National Nutrition Council 9, I welcome you all sa ating NutriTalk Series number 17, Caravan Session 64. I'm PDO1 Mary Rose Yu, and I will be your moderator for today's session. Ang session na ito ay bahagi ng ating Caravan Initiative na ibig sabihin ay coaching, assisting, and reaching advocates virtually to advance in nutrition. I hope everyone is ready to start and tapos na sa pag-fill out ng attendance form. If you haven't filled out the attendance form yet, or if you have just joined, the link is available in the chat box. Kindly click the link to proceed. To formally commence the program, may I ask everyone to stand for the invocation, the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, Bagong Pilipinas Hymn, and the NNCP.
Ama namin, pakinggan mo po ang pagtawag namin sa iyong banal na pangangkin. Basbasan mo po ang aming pagtitipon at kami kaluguran mo sa araw na ito. Pagyamanin mo, Panginoon, at maging nag-aayon sa iyong kalooban ang aming pagkikita-kita mula sa simula hanggang katapusan. Masalamin namin ang layunin mong dakila sa aming buhay at may sagawa namin kayo ang aming mga gawain na may kabutihan at pag-ibig sa aming kapwa. Kami po'y narinig roon sa iyong harapan na kami iyong patnubayan at iwaksi sa aming kaisipan ang anumang masasamang kaisip, inggit at pakikipag-alit sa aming mga kasama. Bigyan mo kami ng sapat na lakas at katalinuhan upang may bahagi naman namin ang aming makakaya sa aming mga kasama sa pagtitipon na ito. Ilagbo sa aming diwa at puso ang magmamahal na hindi naghihintay ng anumang kapalit. Pagkos ay bukas kanan at magkakaloob ng anumang panalangin namin ang lahat nito. Amen.
Tayo ay nagpupunla ng bukas na sapat. Maya ang bayan sa malnutrisyon. Tayo ay nagpapanday ng isang kamalayan. Walang magugutom sa bawat tahanan. Itataguyod ang pamamahala sa tamang nutrisyon. Lokal man o pambansa, sanayan at lungsod. Kasama ng ibang sektor, pangunahan ng pagkilos. Sa wastong nutrisyon, bayan ay susulong. Tayo ang NNC, tapos pusong nagsisilbi. Sa bagay ng bayan, ating aabutin. Nutrisyong sapat para sa lahat. Tayo ang NNC, tapos pusong nagsisilbi. Sa ating tungkulin at iisang layunin, nutrisyong sapat para sa lahat. Nutrisyong sapat para sa lahat.
Nutrisyong sapat para sa lahat.
Thank you very much. You may now take your seats. Welcome po sa mga kakapasok lang. paalala po ng ating attendance form ay nasa chat box. Kindly click the link to proceed. Our expert will be sharing valuable insights shortly, but before that, allow me to give you a brief overview of the morning session. The program will commence with the welcome remarks to be delivered by our dedicated Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ma'am Nimpa D. Ekong. Following this, Zamboanga Sibugay TKDSP Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Eris May E. Pantaleon will formally acknowledge the presence of our esteemed participants. Next, PGN Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Rowens Abzarilla, will take the virtual floor to introduce our distinguished resource person and will also serve as the topic moderator. The discussion on causes of maternal mortality and its prevention will be delivered by our esteemed resource person, Dr. Cheryl R. Sarmiento, followed by an open forum. After the forum, Ms. Zamboanga del Sur Tutukainan, PSP Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Jubilin Lim, will serve as the topic reactor. This will be followed by the virtual awarding of the Certificate of Appreciation to our resource person. To officially close our session, RNPC Ma'am Nimpa D. Ekong will deliver the closing remarks. Next, I will discuss the general house rules for our virtual participants. View the online activity in full screen. Listen attentively to the presenter. For questions, clarifications, comments, kindly type or write them in the chat box by clicking chat in the panel on your screen or wait until the open forum. Please always keep your audio or mic muted at all times while the presenter is speaking, and just press the raise hand button only if you have concerns or you want to speak, and kindly lower it once done. For courtesy, please wait to be recognized before speaking or asking questions. A copy of the presentation will be shared to you after the activity. Just a quick reminder lang po to our dear participants, to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted presentation, we kindly ask everyone to avoid tapping or interacting with the screen during the session. This helps prevent any unintended disruptions for the presenter or other attendees. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay, now to deliver the introductory remarks on behalf of our Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ma'am Nimpa D. Ekong, who is currently attending another important engagement. Let's give a virtual round of applause to our Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Rowens Abzarilla.
Good morning everyone and welcome po sa ating R9 NutriTalk Series number 17 kung R9 sa Caravan Session 64. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this very important session on behalf of our Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ma'am Nimpa D. Ekong, who regrets not being with us today as she is currently attending an equally important activity in Legazpi City with the PMNP team for the Center for Health Development DOH Region 9. We are gathered today to learn more about a critical public health issue, which is the causes of maternal mortality and how it can be prevented. Maternal health is a cornerstone of a healthy society. The loss of even one mother has far-reaching effects, not just on her family, but also on the community and future generations. That is why this discussion is so timely and very significant. We are privileged to have with us a knowledgeable and passionate resource speaker, our Dr. Cheryl R. Sarmiento, the Medical Officer for and Family Health Unit Head of DOH Zamboanga Peninsula Center for Health Development. With your expertise and insights, we look forward to a very meaningful exchange and greater understanding of the factors contributing to maternal deaths and the strategic interventions we can all take part to save lives. Once again, thank you for all being here today. Your presence shows your commitment to improving maternal health in our region. May today's learning session empower us to act with greater urgency and compassion in our respective roles. Welcome po again and mabuhay po sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Wenz, for the warm welcome. To acknowledge the participants, let's turn the virtual stage over to Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Eris A.E. Pantaleon.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Yu. A bright and productive morning to all. It's my pleasure to have you here. We would like to express our sincere appreciation to all the dedicated individuals joining us today as we embark on another meaningful session of the NutriTalk series number 17 to Caravan Session 64, focusing on the causes of maternal mortality and its prevention. We are especially honored to welcome our esteemed resource person, Dr. Cheryl R. Sarmiento, whose expertise and insights will greatly enrich today's discussion. We are privileged to have with us our dedicated local nutrition focal points from Zamboanga del Norte, led by Provincial Nutrition Action Officer, Mr. Alex Zaval, and District Nutrition Program Coordinator, Mr. Noah Vincent Gallo, together with Nutrition Action Officers and Local Nutrition Program Coordinators from the Municipality of Cebuco. From Zamboanga del Sur, represented by Provincial Nutrition Action Officer, Ms. Grace Sumoge, together with the Nutrition Action Officers and Local Nutrition Program Coordinators from the municipalities of Vicente, Sagun, and Dumingan. From Zamboanga, Sibugay, headed by Provincial Nutrition Action Officer, Ms. Marilene Garcia, with District Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ms. Eunice Grace Alasio, together with the Nutrition Action Officers and Local Nutrition Program Coordinators from the from the municipalities of Capasalan, Olupanga, and Buug. From the Bacolod City, we are joined by the City Nutrition Action Officer, Ms. Luisa Jane D. Zamoras, together with the CNPCs. And of course, we are honored by the presence of our NNC9 Secretariat, led by our Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ma'am Nympha D. Eco, together with NO2 PGN, Ms. Rowens F. Zarilla, NO2 PGN, Ms. Ilris A. T. Solosa, Zamboanga del Sur, TKDSP, Ms. Jubilin Lim, AA1, Ms. Nashori Janalan, and yours truly, Zamboanga Sibugay, TKDSP, Eris A. Pantaleon. To all participants tuning in today, thank you for your time, dedication, and commitment to strengthen nutrition coverage. Your engagement and contributions make this session truly valuable. With that, let's get started. Once again, welcome to NutriTalk Series number 17, Caravan Session 64.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Eris. We truly appreciate the participation of everyone here today and are grateful for your presence in this important session. Okay, now to formally introduce our respected resource person, let us welcome PGN Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Rowens F. Zorin.
Again, before we proceed with our session, it is my honor to introduce our esteemed resource speaker. She is a committed public health professional and a passionate advocate for maternal and child health. Currently, she serves as Medical Officer 4 and Head of the Family Health Unit at the Department of Health, Zamboanga Peninsula Center for Health Development. With her expertise and leadership in family health programs, she continues to play a vital role in improving the quality of care for women and families in our region. Let us all give a warm welcome to Dr. Cheryl R. Sarmiento. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Christian everyone. I hope I am clearly heard lang. Thank you, Ma'am Rowens, for that kind introduction.
Doc, may I ask po if I will share your screen po or kayo na lang po mag-share?
Yeah, may I request that NNC will share my presentation?
Okay po, okay po.
Thank you. So, Good morning po again to everybody, and first and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude sa NNC. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about a very important issue, no, which is maternal mortality. Timely po ito kasi Mayo ngayon. Nung second week po ng Mayo, actually, sineselebrate, commemorate natin yung Safe Motherhood Week. So, thank you, NNC, for this invitation. Okay, so ang layunin ko po ngayon ay to talk about maternal mortality. Matulungan po tayong maintindihan, maunawaan kung bakit ba ito nangyayari at ano ang ating magagawa upang ito ay mapigilan. So, we're looking at why maternal death happens and how can we prevent it together. So we'll start with knowing what is maternal mortality. Ano po ba yung maternal mortality, no? So ito ay ang pagkamatay ng isang babae habang siya ay buntis or habang buntis during pregnancy or within 42 days ng after mag-end yung kanyang pregnancy. So kadalasan ito ay dahil sa mga komplikasyon ng pagbubuntis o panganganak. Ang malungkot dito, karamihan sa mga kasong ito ay maiiwasan. So it's preventable. Maternal death is preventable. So may mga sapat tayong knowledge, kaalaman, support at serbisyong medikal na pwede sanang magawa para ma-prevent ang maternal death. So tingnan natin yung picture ng global ng data on maternal mortality. Globally, according po sa World Health Organization, every day noong 2023, over 700 women died from a preventable cause related to pregnancy and childbirth. And halos kada 2 minuto daw po, every 2 minutes, there was a reported maternal death in the world. Ito naman po yung pinapakita nating picture ng maternal deaths affecting our Filipino women. Kung nakikita niyo po, mataas pa rin ang bilang ng mga namamatay na ina sa Philippines at ayon sa Philippine Statistics Authority noong 2023, ang Region 4A, Calabarzon, NCR at Central Luzon ang may pinakamataas na bilang ng maternal deaths. But bawat region, kung nakikita niyo po, kabilang ang Zamboanga Peninsula ay also affected, apektado din netong maternal mortality. And kung susuriin pa natin further yung data ng Philippine Statistics Authority, sa next slide po, makikita niyo po yung out of the total number of maternal deaths in the country noong 2023, 147 po doon ay mga maternal deaths among our adolescents na 10 or kabataan 10 to 19 years old. So mag-zoom in po tayo sa Zamboanga Peninsula. Base po sa data ng Philippine Statistics Authority noong 2022 at 2023, kita niyo po, nagtala tayo ng 100 na maternal deaths with Zamboanga City and Zamboanga del Norte reporting 30 and 33 maternal deaths. No, ito po ay based on place of residence kung saan nakatira yung nanay. And then, noong 2023 po, nagtala po tayo ng 73 maternal deaths. Zamboanga City, nag-report pa rin ng 33, Zamboanga del Norte 18. But sa 2024, wala pa po tayong partial at unofficial pa po na data ito, hindi po galing sa PSA, but galing po sa maternal death review na ginagawa po natin sa ating rayon. So, partial kasi parang isang sem pa lang po ito na data. So, nakikita natin na nag-decrease naman po yung maternal deaths natin na report, although nakita natin tumaas ang sa Zamboanga Sibugay na naging 20 po, no? Pero again, hindi pa po ito final at official na report. Hintayin po natin yung final at official na report. Hopefully, bumaba po siya sa 7, hindi na siya lalampas pa ng 70 deaths. Alright, so mag-move on po tayo at tatanungin natin ang ating sarili, bakit ba may namamatay na mga mothers dahil sa panganganak or childbirth, no? Meron tayong mga medical na reasons why mothers die. And pag medical, most of them can be treated if na-identify natin ng early or handled by skilled providers. Meron din po tayo later on, malalaman natin yung 3 delays model. Ito naman po yung nag-explain sa mga non-medical reasons kung bakit pa may mga maternal death. So, pag ina-address natin yung mga non-medical and also yung non-medical cause ng maternal death, so we can also save lives. Sige po. So, ayon sa pinakahuling pagsusuri ng WHO, nireport po ito nila through the Lancet Global Health, ang pangunahing sanhi ng pagkamatay ng mga ina ay ang number 1. Ayan. Sila po yung majority. Labis na pagdurugo or severe bleeding. No? Usually, sa atin, ang nakikita natin yung postpartum hemorrhage. Ayan. Ang second po, yung infections or mga usually after childbirth. And then we also have yung high blood pressure during pregnancy or alta presyon habang buntis. Meron din po yung komplikasyon dahil sa komplikasyon sa panganganak. And meron din pong dahil majority, ito global data po kasi to. Meron din po dahil sa hindi ligtas na abortion. So, ang mga ito ay maaring maagapan kung may maagang pagsusuri sana or tamang impormasyon ng ating mga mothers at maayos na pag-aalaga sa buntis. Alright. So, allow me to give few more information sa atin, no? For example, yung sa severe bleeding po or hemorrhage. So, sabi natin, ito yung excessive blood loss, usually during or after childbirth. And most common sa atin nga yung postpartum hemorrhage, which occurs after the baby is delivered. So, bakit ito nangyayari? Pwedeng kasi nagkaroon ng failure para sa uterus na mag-contract siya, no? Or pwedeng meron pang na-retain na placenta doon, hindi lumabas lahat, or baka may blood clotting disorders yung ating mother. So, pag nangyari ito, magkakaroon siya ng shock or hypovolemic shock sa sobrang pagkawala ng dugo niya and can lead to death, pagkamatay niya within hours if untreated. So, sa ating setting po sa Pilipinas, no, many of our women, yung iba po, unfortunately, they give birth at home or in facilities na walang enough blood supply or trained personnel to handle this type of emergencies. Infections or sepsis. So, ito pwede yung mga severe infection during or after childbirth. Pwedeng pumasok through the bloodstream and become life-threatening. Common sources nito is kapag medyo prolonged na yung labor ni mother or may premature rupture of membrane, no? The water bag broke. Or poor hygiene during delivery. And then, again, kung may mga retained products pa of conception, may naiwan pang parte ng pagbubuntis kay mother. So, ito, again, can lead to septic shock, multi-organ failure, and death if not identified early. Again, sa ating country po, sa context ng Philippines, no, maraming nagko-contribute dito sa cause of death from infection. Kapag nanganak tayo sa isang lugar na hindi naman sterile, hindi malinis yung mga equipments, kapag nanganak tayo sa bahay, home deliveries, kapag hindi agad-agad tayong nag-seek ng care. The third one, or the high blood pressure during pregnancy, I think some of the health workers ng NNC partners, narinig nila yung namatay kasi pre-eclampsia siya or may eclampsia siya. So yung pre-eclampsia, yung pagkakaroon ng high blood pressure and signs of organ damage, lalo na yung kidneys na apektuhan na. While yung eclampsia naman is dahil severe na yung pagkaroon mo ng pre-eclampsia or high blood pressure, so nag-lead na siya to seizures. So again, these mga occurrences can lead to organ failure, can lead to stroke sa mga buntis, and death of the mother and fetus. So, in the Philippines, kailan ito nangyayari? Kapag hindi siya na-detect kasi na-miss ng mother ang kanyang prenatal visit, or kung saan siya pumunta, medyo kulang din yung mga diagnostic tools ng Rural Health Unit. Complications from delivery. So, ito yung pwedeng may obstructed labor. For example, yung baby, hindi siya makalabas sa birth canal ni nanay kasi si baby, iba yung position niya ba or iba ang masyadong malaki siya, and the mother's pelvic structure, so medyo maliit yung kanal kung saan lalabas sana si baby. So, ano ang impact nito kapag hindi siya na CS, na cesarean section, or in-assist yung delivery niya, both the mother and the baby are at high risk of death again. So, in the country, sa Philippines, unfortunately, some of our facilities are not yet equipped for emergency obstetric surgeries, especially sa mga GIDA areas. And later on, malalaman niyo po, paano ba natin, alam natin ito yung cause, paano ba natin ito prevent. And unsafe abortion. Ito yung tina-terminate, ine-end natin yung pregnancy, ginagawa ng mga individuals na wala namang yung necessary na skills, or ginagawa nila ito sa mga environment, sa lugar na hindi nakakamit ng mga minimal medical standards. So, pag ginawa ito, mga unsafe abortion, pwede itong mag-cause ng severe bleeding, infection, or mapunit yung uterus, uterine perforation, and death ng nanay. Sa Philippines po, hindi legal ang abortion. Bawal po ito, nire-restrict. Kaya nga po, and saan po ba natin ito usually nakikita? Sino yung at least na natitempt na mag-abort ng baby kapag unintentional, hindi planado yung pregnancy, or sometimes among our young adolescents, So, kaya nagiging at risk sila sa maternal death. And then we look at indirect causes or mga medical conditions aggravated by pregnancy. So, sometimes, or most of our women also, before pa sila naging nabuntis, meron silang mga heart diseases, diabetes, anemia, or infections like malaria, HIV/AIDS, or tuberculosis, or TB. So, kapag naging buntis sila, the more na nasistress yung katawan, and nawo-worsen itong mga pre-existing condition nila. So, in the Philippines, ito din yung risk, Many women, they enter into pregnancy na hindi ready yung katawan nila. Either malnourished sila or meron silang mga unmanaged na chronic illnesses dahil sa poor access sa primary care. So again, this becomes one of the causes of maternal death. Alright, so as mentioned po kanina, meron din tayong mga causes kung saan non-medical naman siya. Let's look into the 3 delays model. Next slide po, ma'am. Ito yung framework 3 delays model proposed in 1994 by 2 maternal health experts and public health researchers, Tadeus and Main. Sabi nila, may mga non-medical reasons din kung bakit namamatay ang mga mothers, And kung ma-address natin itong delay, we can also save their lives. So, alright, so ang una ay ang delay o pagkaantala sa pagdedesisyon magpatingin. So, delay to seek healthcare. And then the second one is, doon pa ma'am. Ayan, so the second one is yung hirap makarating sa ospital. So, delay in reaching the healthcare facility. And the third one ay delay sa pagtanggap ng tamang serbisyo. Delay in receiving adequate healthcare. So, isa-isahin natin po, So, yung first delay, ang sabi niya, what can cause yung first delay? Yung hindi magkaroon ng antala sa pag-decide na mag-seek ng healthcare si mother na buntis. So, pwede itong maapektuhan by yung low status of women daw po, no? Pero ano to, maraming aspeto ang issue na to. When we say low status of women, pwede itong affected by poverty, kahirapan. Dahil sa kahirapan, wala siyang access sa mga information, resources, opportunities. Nahiya siyang mag-decide on her own about her health. Pwedeng low to no education, yun na nga, no? Hindi siya kulang ang kanyang kaalaman, so hindi siya nakakagawa ng informed decision making para sa kanyang welfare at well-being. Pwede din pong komplikado, affected by gender inequality, how we look at women in the community, in the society. They cannot make decisions for themselves, no? Pwede din dahil sa low esteem, psychological factor na affected also by marami, no? Social, cultural, or personal experiences na women they might be victims of abuse or discrimination or oppression, so leading them to feel not worthy or with low self-esteem, affecting their ability to assert their right to maternal care. And then other factors din po, and then we also have poor understanding of complications and risk factors in pregnancy and when to seek help. So, hindi nila alam na, ang pagbubuntis ko ay pwedeng magkaroon ng complications, or ito ang mga dapat kong gawin sana kapag buntis na ako. Pwede din nagkaroon sila ng poor experience, no? Medyo hindi maganda yung treatment sa kanila. First time na pumunta sila sa health facility, kaya nag-influence siya sa delay na punta ba ako sa health center o hindi. Ganun po. Meron din yung acceptance of maternal death. May mga cultures daw po na sometimes they would believe na ay baka God's will ito na namatay siya or something. Parang sige lang, kasi kung may mangyari talaga sa kanya, baka ito talaga ang kailangan niyang pagdaanan. So, may cost ng delay doon na seek right away ng healthcare. Ayan. Lastly, lack of health insurance and financial constraints, of course, no? Dahil dito, iniisip natin na wala tayong pera, wala kaming panggastos, mahal doon pagpupunta sa hospital o sa facility. So, it affects their decision to seek care. Let's move on to the second delay. Yung second delay naman po is delay in reaching care. Ano ang pwedeng maka-contribute or maka-cause nito, no? So, ito yung gumawa ka na ng decision na mag-seek ako ng care ngayon kasi buntis ako, pero may delay doon. Nag-begin on how to reach it. Bakit? Kasi pwedeng nasa Jeddah na area ka, malayo ka masyado sa health center at sa hospital. Or malayo ka na din, plus wala ka pang transportation, wala kang habal-habal, wala kang motor, wala kang transportation, wala kang pera pangbayad ng transportation para madala ka sa health center. Ayan. Tapos, sometimes meron ka namang sasakyan, meron ka namang pera for transportation, pero yung road, yung paano ka makaka-reach doon sa health facility, ayan, nag-hamper din siya, no? Kasi pangit yung daanan, or magpo-cross ka pa ng river, ganun po. And then the geography also. So, pare-pareho silang, naka-decide ka na ng sick care, pero wala kang means para ma-reach yung care na kailangan mo. And thirdly po, yung third delay is delay in receiving adequate care. So, you have identified your risk, you have reached the facility, pero pagdating doon, yung facility naman cannot contribute to maternal death. So, nakakasad po ito, but these are health system failures na nakikita natin sa ating country, sa ating region, no? Kapag medyo poor na yung quality of care na binibigay sa ating mga mothers, it's either because kulang yung training ng ating mga healthcare workers, or may insufficient number of healthcare providers. So, nasi-stress na siya, sobrang dami ng kailangang pasyente na i-attendan niya, so hindi quality yung services na binibigay niya. Pwede din yung facility mismo, kulang nga sila sa mga medical supplies and equipments, and when kulang sila, they're also not able to refer you to other facilities kasi medyo inadequate din yung referral system nila. Wala silang sasakyan din that can bring you to another higher facility, or they don't have a communication system to refer you to other hospitals. So these are mga non-medical causes of maternal death. Okay? So how can women's lives be saved? So sabi natin kanina, most maternal deaths are actually preventable because healthcare solutions to prevent or manage complications are well known naman po, no? Sometimes all women need are access to high quality care in pregnancy and quality care also during and after childbirth. Alright, so i-address natin yung tatlong delays muna, yung non-medical na causes of maternal death. So sabi natin yung first delay natin, delay in decision to seek care. So kapag ganun pala yung cause ng possible cause ng death, next slide ma'am, so anong pwede natin gawin dito, diba? So parang clear sa atin, kung walang information si mother, so in other words, let's make sure that mothers, men and women in the community, families are well informed when it comes to pregnancy, when it comes to childbirth, when it comes to newborn care. They have all these information that they need so that they can have healthy pregnancy, healthy, safe delivery, and a healthy newborn. Also, kung sabihin natin, because of financial constraints, walang pera, so we can also intervene. Paano po? By in the community or in the family, we can also facilitate mga think of income generation schemes na pwede po, no? Alright. For delay 2, which is delay in reaching the care, sabi na natin, ito walang malayo masyado yung facility. So ano po yung mga interventions na pwede sanang maka-address nito? Definitely, we can improve transportation po sana and improve emergency referrals. So it means making sure na merong mga health facilities, barangay health stations sa ating mga GIDA areas, and that kung hindi nakakarating si mother sa health facility, we have outreach healthcare workers who can visit these barangays to provide the care. Some of our municipalities are also very very intentional in making sure na merong mga waiting houses next to health centers kung saan the mother can stay already before pa ang due date niya, malapit na siya sa health center. Kasi especially for those na walang sasakyan, pababa, mga ganun po. And the third delay is the delay in receiving adequate health care. So, dito po, how can we address this? So, the Department of Health, together with other partners ko, are also working on ensuring that our midwives, our skilled birth attendants, our doctors, nurses, and midwives are trained, trained to provide the care that mothers need before pregnancy, during delivery, and aftercare. So that's why if you hear merong mga BEMONG facilities sa ating mga municipalities, kasi natin-train po sila to take care of our mothers. Ayan. Ensure health centers and health facilities are also equipped and provided with equipped to provide safe deliveries. And ina-assess din po natin yung mga facilities natin, no? Before we give them licenses to operate, we make sure na meron silang good referral system, communication, transportation system when it comes to referring patients to higher facilities. Alright, so now let's move on to those medical na mga causes of maternal death. How can we prevent them? from planning pregnancies to after giving birth, there are specific ways to protect the health of our mothers. No? So, pre-pregnancy is one and is the first step in preventing maternal mortality. This one ensures that woman is healthy pa before pa siya mag-conceive, before pa siya mabuntis, reducing yung risk niya during pregnancy, delivery, and postpartum. So, and it's not just about treating illness, but it's also promoting health from the very beginning. So we would like to build the foundation for a healthy pregnancy, and it really starts with bago pa siya mag-conceive, bago pa siya mabuntis. So, bakit ito important? No? Sabi natin, i-repeat lang natin kasi it can reduce the risk of complications kapag mayroon siyang na-identify na natin na ay anemic pala si mother before siya mabuntis, or meron siyang hypertension, diabetes, heart disease. So ito ay pwedeng ma-manage na agad before pa siya mabuntis. Alright? And then, healthy pregnancy, it ensures mother starts pregnancy with optimal nutrition, vaccination, and emotional readiness. So that's why ang key components ng pre-pregnancy care, kung nakikita niyo po, family planning education on reproductive health. Gusto natin, couples, si mother at si father, ang husband at ang wife, they get educated on when to get pregnant based on their health and based on their life's readiness. So gusto natin, pinopromote natin ang birth spacing. Gusto natin at least 2 to 3 years yung pagitan ng pregnancy kasi it allows the katawan, mother's body to recover, and also reduces the risk of low birth weight, preterm birth, and maternal depletion. No? After birth, also family planning is also still important para again to avoid unplanned or closely spaced pregnancy. So, na-mention din po dyan yung importance ng family planning. It also delays pregnancy, no, until ready na siya. So, this is particularly important sa ating mga adolescent kasi alam natin, their bodies are really not yet ready to become mothers. Yung body ng adolescent, hindi pa kaya maging yung i-handle yung stresses ng pregnant na katawan, no? Pregnant na body. Alright, we have nutrition also and supplementation. We give folic acid to women at least 3 months before their pregnancy because we want to prevent information sa kanilang mga anak. We also, before pregnancy pa, magandang attitude yon sa ating mga women of reproductive age if they undergo nutritional assessment. If we want to see if the mother is underweight pa and at risk siya for anemia, at risk siya for obstructive labor, or overweight siya, at risk naman siya for gestational diabetes and hypertension. So, during this time, we can also, this is the opportunity for us to encourage women of reproductive age na maging healthy, no, to have healthy weight, balanced diet, and to eat micronutrient-rich meals. Immunization before pregnancy is also very important. So it prevents flu vaccine, for example, prevents complications from influenza during pregnancy. Yung HPV vaccine, although binibigay pa ito sa mga before sexual debut, no, sa mga adolescents natin to prevent cervical cancer. And then, of course, other vaccines like COVID-19 kasi kapag nagkaroon siya ng COVID-19 infection during pregnancy, so high risk si mother. Oral health, also important because gum diseases like gingivitis or periodontitis, they also are linked to preterm birth and low birth weight. So that's why pre-pregnancy dental check-ups and treatments can prevent issues during pregnancy when dental procedures are more complicated. So, naisip niyo po ba yun kapag habang buntis siya, doon pa siya magkakaroon ng masakit ng ngipin and then may need pa for extraction or some other treatment. So, it can complicate pregnancy. Comprehensive sexual education, ayan, nakafocus po sa adolescent reproductive health, no? Kasi sabi natin, this is very important because it teaches adolescents to delay sexual activity, ma-understand nila yung consequences of early pregnancy, and they can stay in school pa and build their life skills. So it promotes responsible behavior, respect for one's body, and informed choices about sexuality and fertility. So if these are in place po sa ating areas, this can really help prevent untimely, unplanned, unintentional pregnancies po. Alright. So, this slide, I would just like to emphasize po yung importance ng ating family planning program. Family planning program, related pala siya sa Safe Motherhood Program. Related pala siya sa maternal death or maternal health. Family planning po yung most powerful, cost-effective intervention to reduce maternal death or maternal mortality. Kasi po, when we give women and couples yung ability to decide when to have children, family planning can contribute to safer pregnancies and better maternal health outcomes. So, sabi natin, ayaw natin ng mga unplanned, unintended pregnancies, no? Because they may likely to result in, kapag ayaw niya, hindi ako ready pala, ay gusto ko na lang mag-abortion, tapos unsafe yung abortion process natin. Ay, hindi pa ako dapat nabuntis, so nahiya akong pumunta ng health center para mag-prenatal check-up. So, i-delay ko muna yung pag-seek ng care. Or, naku, bago lang, 9 months pa lang si baby, nabuntis na naman ako. So, may poor birth spacing. So, mag-i-increase na naman ng risk ng nanay. Also, ang family planning prevents also mga high-risk pregnancies. So, ito yun, ano ba yung mga high-risk pregnancies natin, no? That can lead to maternal death also. Yung too early, inuulit-ulit natin, yung too early, adolescents under 18 years old, too frequent, ayan kasi hindi proper yung spacing, less than 2 years apart, too many, more than 4 na yung children mo, tapos biglang naging buntis ulit, so another risk for maternal death, or too late, yung medyo naka-edad na po tayo, tapos nabuntis tayo. So, family planning can help prevent. That data presents to us, no, naka-highlight po yung red. Given our 2023 coverage ng family planning methods, the number of FP users, tingnan nyo po na may automatic na computation to find out ilan ang maternal deaths na na-avert or na-prevent natin. Tingnan nyo po, 974 deaths. So kung tataasan pa natin yung number of FP users natin, we can expect that more maternal deaths will be prevented. And ang opposite ang mangyayari. Kapag bababa po yung number of women who are using family planning, so matataas po yung number of maternal deaths natin. The next slide is also a focus on adolescent pregnancy, how it puts young girls at higher risk of maternal death, no? Sabi natin, kasi physically immature pa yung katawan nila, may mga social challenges pa, may mga nag-hamper pa sa access nila sa care. So that's why preventing teenage pregnancies and supporting young mothers are really essential steps po toward reducing maternal mortality and building healthier futures. So, marami pong risk kasi na associated with adolescent pregnancy, no? Hindi fully developed yung body nila for childbirth, so pwedeng magkaroon ng obstructed labor, diba? Isa yun sa mga leading causes of maternal death. Pwedeng magkaroon ng high blood pressure with seizure, eclampsia, pwedeng magkaroon ng postpartum hemorrhage, pwedeng magkaroon ng infection dahil sa unsafe abortion-related complications. Sa halos 4 dun sa leading causes ng maternal death, makikita sa risk associated with adolescent pregnancy. So what we want to do is really prevent pregnancy among adolescents, no? In the Philippines, around 5 to 10% of our maternal deaths annually occur among adolescents according to PSA. Kanina kita pa natin, 147 pala ay among teenagers natin. So, how do we prevent adolescent maternal death? So, kanina na-mention ko, pre-pregnancy and comprehensive sexuality education. We are working on ma-in-place ito sa ating eskwelahan, at the same time sa ating mga communities. And then, if you have heard, we also have adolescent-friendly health facilities in the municipalities. Yun din po ang pinupush natin na adolescents will not be shy, will not be scared to seek help, guidance, education from their health service providers sa ating mga rural health units. No? When they need sexuality education, reproductive health services, right, including access to family planning methods because they are acknowledging that they are sexually active, then they can approach our healthcare providers and they are trained to provide them the services that they need. No? So what we're also part of ensuring na meron tayong adolescent-friendly facilities is yung we make sure that our healthcare workers are trained on how to deal with adolescents because they are a special group of people with unique needs, physical, emotional, psychosocial needs. So, tinuturuan po natin ang ating mga healthcare workers to approach adolescents in a very respectful, non-judgmental way, no? A compassionate way, whether in providing pre-pregnancy education, sexuality education, or during pregnancy, like giving antenatal care or during delivery. So, yun po. Yung slide na po pinakikita nila, yung data, survey based on National Demographic Health Survey, sabi nila, ang mga adolescents, they express need for family planning method pero hindi siya nami-meet. And that only few of our adolescents know where to seek, where to get help or information about family planning or their reproductive health. So marami pa pong kailangan gawin na improvements sa atin para we can better serve our special population ng mga adolescents who are already mothers or who does not like to be mothers pa, no? Who just like to be healthy adolescents. So, all right. So that's pre-pregnancy, and then during pregnancy, i-discuss din po natin. Next slide. So this one looks into preventing maternal deaths during pregnancy. So yung World Health Organization po recommends at least 8 prenatal check-ups na po to ensure the health and survival of both mother and baby. So bakit importante itong 8 visit or 8 contacts, no? These are essential for detecting complications early and providing health education and ensuring a safe pregnancy and recovery. So kung titingnan niyo po yung Philippines also tayo, nag-adapt na din po tayo. Ayan po pinalabas namin yung poster namin on 8 antenatal check-ups. Dapat kompletuhin. So 1 to 5 po ang schedule. Isang beses during sa first trimester. That's the time na nalaman ni mother, na nalaman ni woman na buntis siya up to 12 weeks. And then second trimester, 2 times po, either at the 20th week or at the 26th week. And then third trimester, 5 bisita po at the 30th week, 34, 38, 36, 38, and 40 weeks. Pero po, kapag sinabi po ng doktor sa inyo, or ng healthcare provider na monthly bumisita po kayo, then dapat sundin natin yon. Kasi nga, ano po yung goal natin ng antenatal care? Gusto natin, through all of these visits po, dinagdagan na natin, no? Kasi gusto natin palaging nakikita ang buntis, na mamonitor natin, na detect natin, na ma-manage natin yung mga high risk na mga pregnancies, na pre-prevent natin ma-prevent and matitreat natin yung anemia, yung infection, mapropromote natin yung healthy diet and birth preparedness, maproprovide natin yung immunization, tetanus toxoid immunization na kailangan niya during pregnancy, and makaka-avoid tayo makaka-educate tayo sa mother on warning signs like bleeding, swelling, or headache. Yan po yung during pregnancy. Let's move on to how we can prevent maternal deaths during delivery naman po. So what are we promoting? How can we prevent maternal deaths? Ayan po, through ensuring that our deliveries happen in facilities and that our deliveries are attended by skilled birth attendants. No? These two are also one of the most effective strategies to prevent maternal deaths because alam natin most maternal deaths occur around the time of labor, delivery, and immediately postpartum. So, kung saan yung timely skilled intervention is very critical. So, ano po ba yung facility-based delivery? Sabi natin, this is childbirth that takes place in a health facility such as hospital, birthing center, rural health unit, facility na equipped and trained with healthcare workers and medical supplies. So, unlike our home births or home deliveries, facilities are prepared to handle emergencies, including yung top leading causes natin of maternal death like hemorrhage, obstructed labor, and sepsis. When we talk about skilled birth attendants, sino po ba ito? Sabi ng World Health Organization or WHO, these are the accredited health professionals like midwives, nurses, or doctors. So they are trained to manage normal pregnancies and childbirth and recognize and refer complications. So, ulitin lang po natin, bakit po ba yung home or unattended births are risky? Sa mga discussions natin, baka nakuha nyo na din po yun, no? Kasi kapag sa bahay or sa malayong or sa lugar na walang skilled birth attendant, so yung mga wala tayong access sa mga emergency interventions kung kailangan ng dugo or kailangan ECS. And then, may higher risk of infection kapag sa bahay dahil sa unsterile yung environment natin. Tapos kapag hindi naman skilled, baka po may delay again in recognizing and responding, danger sign na ito, high risk pregnancy, ito kailangan siya. Hindi siya pwedeng mag-deliver dito sa bahay. Sa ating Philippine context, no, we keep on promoting, kaya nakikita niyo po, meron tayong mga posters, promotional materials on promoting facility-based deliveries. No, it's part of our universal healthcare and management strategy that all pregnant women are encouraged to deliver in BEMONG facilities or yung higher facility na SEMONG po. But in reality po, ayan po yung mga challenges natin, no? Yung geographic barriers, yung cultural preferences, yung lack of transport and referral system. So, kung ma-ensure lang talaga natin na lahat ng deliveries po ay sa facility at may skilled birth attendants po, it can really save lives, no? So, they ensure timely, appropriate care for complications and reduce preventable maternal and neonatal death. So, we need to continue to work to strengthen this system po para ma-lower pa natin yung maternal mortality in the Philippines. That's during delivery. How about after birth? Meron pa ba tayong ways we can do to prevent maternal deaths? WHO also has increased dati po to prenatal, to postpartum visit lang po tayo. Ngayon din po naging 4 na siya, no? So, nakikita nyo po yung schedule dyan ng first visit natin is within first 24 hours. The second is from 48 to 72 hours. Yung third, 7 to 14 days. Ayan, pero po ba tayo dyan? And yung fourth is around 6 weeks. So, we have adapted etong 4 postnatal visits, and very critical siya because majority of maternal and newborn deaths also occur during this postnatal period, yun ang first 6 weeks after birth. So, and often these are preventable causes like yun na nga, hemorrhage, sepsis, or poor newborn care. ano bang focus natin pagdating sa postnatal na visit? So we want to look at the maternal health. We check the vital signs of the mother. We check her mental health. We promote lactation. We look at how she feeds the newborn. Also, we look at infant care, no? How he is able to feed properly. Is he gaining weight? Did he get the immunization, BCG, HEPA na kailangan niyang makuha after birth? Ayan. We also grab this opportunity for counseling on nutrition, birth spacing, and danger signs. Ayan. So, very important po itong postnatal na visits. No? It allows the health workers to really monitor the health of mothers and the baby and detect and manage complications early and promote a healthy pregnancy and safe postpartum recovery. Alright? So ang layunin po, our goal as a country, because maternal health is a national priority. So we want to reduce maternal mortality ratio to 70 per 100,000 live births by 2030. Noong 2021 po, naka-record po tayo ng 154 na maternal mortality rate, which is mataas po, no? And nakikita po natin in the reduction of maternal mortality, hindi po ito work ng healthcare workers lang. It requires collective effort. So government, may ginagawa si government, may ginagawa din po yung mga health workers natin, meron din pong ginagawa ang ating community, and even the family itself, no? The family of the pregnant woman also have a role to play. So every healthy mother we want to be serious about our goal of reducing our efforts in reducing maternal death, because every mother also contributes to a stronger family and stronger community. So, what can families do po ba and communities do also to prevent maternal deaths, no? So, again, ang sinasabi natin, the reduction of maternal mortality is not just the responsibility of doctors and midwives or healthcare workers, but families and communities play a critical frontline role in supporting women throughout pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum. Malaki ang papel ng pamilya at komunidad. So, how can we help po ba? What can we do? So, we can support pregnant women to attend health check-ups, no? Now that we know na 8 na pala ang antenatal care, please help us encourage pregnant women to complete itong 8 prenatal care visit nila. We can help as a family, as a community, help them remind of their appointments and even accompany them, no, if needed. We can involve also husbands, partners, or family members in the health education sessions. In the Philippines, meron tayong mga barangay health workers, barangay nutrition scholars. Partner po namin kayo sa pag-conduct ng mga home visits sa families to make sure that pregnant woman is available also, and they can go available and supported during home visits po, no? And that they can be accompanied in getting the care that they need. Alright? Timely transport for delivery. So ahead of time, we can already arrange this one as a family, as a community, no? Yung transport, magkontrata na o tricycle or habal-habal, mag-arrange ng schedule sa barangay ambulance kapag malapit na yung panganganak or nag-start na ang labor, ganun po. And isa din, we can already save money or organize, for example, maternal emergency fund within the family or the community para makasupport sa pag-transport sa pregnant kapag manganganak na po siya. So other families also can keep a bag, a go bag na ready with all the mother's ID, health records, baby items para ma-avoid yung delay kapag nag-start na yung labor. So ready, paghahanda po is very crucial. And then promoting facility-based delivery and skilled birth attendance. So we can advocate, everybody can help advocate for delivery in hospital, lying in clinic or RHUs, and not at home, especially for all those with high-risk pregnancies. No? We can also support the mother's decision to choose a facility birth, even if traditional practices favor home delivery. So kailangan i-balance yung naging kasanayan na natin na kasi dati ako nanganak ako, siya lang naman nag-attend sa birth ko, si Hilot lang ang nag-attend. So nagbabago po ang panahon, and iba-iba ang mga buntis at ang pagbubuntis. Pwedeng okay pa siya dati with the Hilot, pero ngayon hindi na po. So what the community can do is actually support the mother kapag gusto niya, ay gusto ko po sa hospital at sa facility kasi safe, gusto ko safe ako doon. Ayan. And then, barangay leaders can actually promote facility-based delivery and skilled birth attendance during community meetings or BNS, PHW assemblies po. Alright? What else po? A challenge harmful myths and support young mothers. So, again, this pertains to mga outdated na mga and unsafe practices that we might be having, no? Kasi palang delaying care, seeking care, kasi ay normal pain lang yan. So, mamaya ka na magpunta sa health center, something like that. Or home births without skilled attendance, yun na mention ko po kanina. And then, so we encourage young or single mothers to seek care and walang judgment sa kanila, no, na baka yung pagtingin natin sa kanila kasi, ano ba yan, batang-bata ka pa, buntis ka na ngayon, so yun pa yung makaka-restrict sa kanila, mag-cause na mahiya to seek care. So dapat wala pong ganun sa family, sa community natin. Because we want to encourage them to seek care. Nutrition, promote nutrition and mental health support. So, the family, the community can also provide nutritious food and rest for the pregnant woman, especially if she is a working mother. And then emotional support, especially for adolescent mothers, first-time moms, or those who may feel overwhelmed. Of course, kanina na-mention na po yung encourage birth spacing and family planning, no? So families and communities are really often the first to know if something is wrong. So, and the first to help or delay. So, ganun, no? Pwede silang mag-first to help or pwede silang mag-first to delay also the care. So, we hope our families and communities are also really well-informed and maging supportive and proactive so that they can help prevent complications and save lives. Lastly po, mga key takeaways natin to understanding maternal mortality and its prevention. Inulit-ulit po natin, maternal deaths are mostly preventable. They can result from complications that can be anticipated, that we can think na ay baka mangyari ito. And these complications are also sometimes, most of the times treated, can be treated and avoided. So what is important is timely access to quality healthcare during pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum. Very critical po siya. And then we're saying everyone plays a crucial role, no? So we need to support, encouragement, and readiness from family and neighbors can make the difference. So recognizing danger signs early and acting fast save lives. And when we challenge harmful myths and provide emotional and financial support, it's very vital and helpful to our family, to our pregnant mothers. So, healthy mothers mean healthy families, and healthy families build a healthy nation. So, together po, we can make every pregnancy safe and every birth a celebration of life. So, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. Ang last po gusto namin i-promote na sa Bagong Pilipinas po, our next slide. Yeah, we're always saying sa Bagong Pilipinas, bawat buntis po ay mahalaga. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you very much po, Dr. Cheryl Sarmiento or Dr. Cheng, for that very comprehensive and eye-opening presentation. Your insights have really helped us better understand the factors that contribute to the maternal mortality, as well as the critical steps we can take to prevent it. So now that we have heard the very informative and insightful discussion from Dr. Cheng, we would like to open the floor for any questions or clarifications from our participants. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, or you may chat your questions in our chat box. And you may introduce yourself, state your name and your organization or your LGU office you represent before asking your question. So let us take this opportunity to deepen our understanding for today's topic on maternal mortality and its prevention by engaging on this open forum po. So huwag po tayong mahiya kay Dr. Cheng. No? If you have any questions po, you may chat your questions in our chat box. Okay, do we have any questions po ba? Kung wala po, ako po sigurong pwedeng magtanong. If you don't mind po, Dr. Cheng, I have some questions lang for you po.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Saglit lang po. Okay, so my first question po, Dr. Cheng, is among the leading causes of maternal mortality you discussed, which do you think remains the most challenging po to address in our region, in Zamboanga Peninsula, and why do you think it is the most challenging leading cause of maternal mortality po in our region po?
Hi, ma'am. Thank you for that question. Ayan. Actually, kung titignan po natin yung sa region data na leading causes of maternal death from 2019 to 2022, hindi po nawawala among the globally top leading causes, hindi po nawawala sa atin sa region yung postpartum bleeding, yung eclampsia at pre-eclampsia. So, for the past years sa region, ito po yung nagiging challenge natin. Challenging siya sa atin because sa area natin, we are still working on ensuring na there is enough blood supply for our mothers. So we are working also on expanding mga facilities able to collect blood, save blood, and use it during emergencies like obstetric emergencies. And then, when it comes to the hypertension also, so I think it has something to do with the pre-pregnancy. Yun din yung challenge sa atin, that pre-pregnancy readiness, preparedness, education ng ating mga women of reproductive age, that they really have to take care of themselves pa. Early detection, kung example meron ba silang hypertension, so that hindi na siya ma-aggravate during pregnancy. We know with hypertension kasi affected siya by our nutrition. So yun, pag hindi proper yung nutrition, sabi natin, alam natin ito yung mga, ano lang ba yung sources of food ng ating mga women of reproductive age, or ano ba yung mga sources of food ng ating mga pregnant mothers during pregnancy. So it also affects doon yung increase in the number of women experiencing hypertension during pregnancy, leading to the pre-eclampsia and eclampsia. So ito yung challenging kasi it remains on top of our list as a region.
Okay, thank you so much for your
Did I answer po, no? Did I answer the question? Or baka may na-miss ako?
Yes po, you have answered the question po. Thank you po, Dr. Cheng. Yes po, marami po talaga mga factors that causes maternal mortality. So, hindi lang po isa. So, it is a combination of factors. So, sa community level, doon sa mismong family, sa nutrition. So, thank you so much po, Doc Cheng. And then, I would like to ask po yung next question ko po. In your experience po, Doc Cheng, what are some of the most common delays or gaps at the community level that contribute to the preventable maternal deaths po? Doon po sa community level po, ano po sa tingin niyo mga gaps or challenges po that contribute to preventable maternal deaths?
Yung na-mention ko po na 3 delays, ano siya, totoo talaga siya sa region natin. Yung delay in seeking care, delay in reaching the facility, and delay, unfortunately, kahit yung delay sa pag-receive ng appropriate quality care, totoo din siya sa atin. So again, we are doing reviews, maternal death reviews, and some of the nakikitang findings sa pag-review sa mga pangyayari around the death of a mother, may nalalaman pa rin, may nakikita pa rin natin doon na nakikita pa rin natin doon yung walang prenatal check-up or incomplete yung prenatal check-up, meron pa rin home deliveries, meron pa rin G5 and above, so ibig sabihin hindi tayo nakapag-family planning, tapos meron pa rin adolescent pregnancy, so hindi pa dapat nabuntis na. Meron pa rin mga rason na, so yung underneath doon nakikita natin kasi walang pera, hindi nakaprepare, hindi nakapunta agad sa facility, walang ambulansya, walang vehicle, tapos pagdating doon sa facility, hindi din talaga fully equipped pa, although nakaka-refer sila agad sa higher facility sa region natin, no? Pero may mga ganun pa rin talagang nakikitang delay. So, evident siya sa atin.
Yes, Doc, no? May mga limitations po talaga na hindi po natin control po minsan. So, due to financial constraints and other reasons po, no? Yun nga po, nakakaroon po sila ng pag-aalinlangan to seek healthcare, no? Lalo na po yung mga constituents natin or mga pregnant women natin na nakatira po sa mga GIDA. So medyo malalayo po talaga siya, no? Kailangan pa pong tawirin yung bundok ng ilang oras or paminsan po kailangan pa po nilang magbayad ng habal-habal ng 200 pesos or 300 pesos. So given po yung reason na hindi na nga po enough, no, yung kanilang earnings or yung kanilang income po. So, they would prefer na lang po na hindi na lang po pupunta sa mga RHU natin or health center. So, yun po, no, given po yung mga ganong reasons, no, lastly po, how can we, as a program implementers po ba, in public health, ensure that maternal health remains the top priority in local government planning and budgeting po? Paano po kaya natin malalapit po sa ating mga mayors, lalo na po ngayon, no, bago lang po tayong nag-elect ng mga bagong mayors natin, mga bagong leaders in our LGUs. Paano po kaya natin malalabi or how we can ensure that the maternal health po remains a top priority in our local government units. As we all know, hindi po tayo makakapag-implement po ng mabuti ng ating mga PPAs, ng ating programs, projects, and activities related to nutrition or health without the political will or the support of our local chief executives. Yun po lang.
Yes. Okay, so clear naman sa atin, no, na maternal health is really a priority of our country. Nag-commit tayo sa United Nations through the Sustainable Development Goal na gusto natin i-reduce talaga ang maternal mortality sa ating country. And ang Department of Health and other partner agencies like NNC, no, meron talaga tayong mga programa to promote, to help in the reduction of maternal death. So, sabi nga, na-mention ko kanina yung Safe Motherhood Program, Family Planning Program, Adolescent Health and Development Program, even the Nutrition Program, no? They are all working towards addressing itong maternal mortality na problem, concern natin sa country. But I think if we want to lobby this one, if we want to get the support of our local chief executives, it's important that we are equipped with data. Kapag LCE ka kasi I think, kailangan nilang makita na sabihin natin, may problema po, mataas po, marami pong namamatay dito sa municipality natin. Marami pong malnourished na mothers sa municipality natin. Marami pong anemic na mothers sa municipality natin. So, kailangan ibigay natin yung data na nagpapakita na ilan ba out of these mothers ang malaki, ilan ba among the mothers ang namatay for the previous year? Ilan doon dahil anemic sila? Ilan doon dahil poor ang nutrition nila? Ilan doon sa namatay na mothers ay mga adolescents? Kasi it will give us more purpose and intention in what plans or activities to make or to approve. Before tayo mag-propose ng plan, ito po yung plano namin. So, diba, ipakita natin yung lawak ng problema na to. This is a pressing problem in our municipality. And we have proposed plans for this. We have programs for this, but we need your support. We can only do this. We need to ensure that they deliver in a facility delivery. Pero ang naging problema pala ay wala silang transportation. So, Mayor, kailangan may transportation tayo to make sure that all our pregnant women can reach the facilities on time. So, ang ano ko lang po, sa akin personally, nakita din po namin yung importance ng data. And then may kaakibat siya na proposal na interventions kasi meron naman po talagang known na interventions. Gaya po ng na-mention natin kanina, established na siya yung ito yung cause ng death, anong pwede mong gawin? Either may gamot ka, may facility ka, may personnel ka, may transport ka to bring them. So, it's good that we analyze our data, ready our data, and be able to present the problem to our LCE and be clear on what support we need from the LCE siguro. So that malaman niya, so anong gagawin ko? Kasi baka hindi pa siya oriented. So ganito ang problema, ito pala yung dapat gawin. Ito po yung kulang sa ating municipality. Yun lang po.
Yes po. Thank you so much po, Doc Cheng, for sharing your time and expertise with us today. So yun po, marami po siguro tayong natutunan talaga kay Doc Cheng this morning. And your guidance will certainly help us to improve our strategies and intervention as we work together to save lives and update maternal health in the Region 9, our Zamboanga Peninsula. So, I think we don't have any questions anymore from our participants. Okay, so, Ma'am Yu, I think we don't have any questions anymore.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Wens and Doc Cheng. So at this point, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person for sharing her time, knowledge, and expertise with us today. To formally recognize her valuable contribution, we shall now proceed with the virtual presentation of the Certificate of Appreciation. Okay, for a while lang po. Okay, once again po, thank you very much po, Doc Cheng, for your time. Okay. Okay, so let me read the citation. Department of Health National Nutrition Council Regional Office 9, Certificate of Appreciation is hereby presented to Dr. Cheryl R. Sarmiento, MD, NPH, Medical Officer 4, Family Health Unit Head, DOH ZPCHD. In grateful appreciation for her sharing her valuable time and expertise as a resource person on the topic, causes of maternal mortality and its prevention. During the conduct of R9 NutriTalk Series number 17, CUM R9 Caravan Session 64, on May 16, 2025 via Google Meet. Given the 16th day of May 2025 in Zamboanga City, signed by Ma'am Nympha D. Eco, R&D MDM, our Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator from the National Nutrition Council 9. Thank you very much po, Ma'am Doc Chen.
Thank you also, NNC. Thank you.
Okay, so may I request everyone po to please open your cameras po for a quick photo opportunity before we proceed to the next part of our program. Okay po. Let's open our cameras po to have a photo opportunity with Doc Chen. Okay. In a count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Another one po. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So now let us now proceed to the next part of our program, the topic reaction. Let's call on our Zamboanga del Sur Nutrition Officer 2, Ms. Julian Lin, who will share her insights as our topic reactor.
So, good morning po sa ating lahat. Marinig lang po ba?
Yes po, Ma'am Job, loud and clear.
Thank you po. Hello. So again, good morning, especially sa ating resource speaker na si Dr. Cheryl Sarmiento ng DOH, Zamboanga Peninsula, CHD, at sa lahat ng mga nag-attend ng ating NutriTalk Series 17, Caravan Session 64 with the topic, Causes of Maternal Mortality and its Prevention. As a woman and as a mother myself, I really believe na this topic is really important tungkol sa maternal mortality o pagkamatay ng mga nanay habang buntis or nanganganak or hanggang 42 days matapos manganak. So, nakakalungkot lang kung iisipin natin na marami ang cases na ito na pwede namang maiwasan kung may mga sapat lang na kaalaman, tamang or right decision making, at yung early na pag-access sa mga detalye na serbisyong pangkalusugan. So, walang sanang nanay or walang nanay ang dapat mamatay sa pagbibigay ng buhay. So, the main causes of maternal death are excessive bleeding, infections, high blood pressure during pregnancy, complications during childbirth, and unsafe abortion. So, those were mentioned by Dr. Chen earlier, no? So, the first delay is the delay in deciding to seek care at a health center. So, cause ito ng kakulangan sa kaalaman, kahirapan, at takot. So, marami talaga na pinagwawalang bahala ang mga nararamdaman nila. Or di naman kaya, kung sinasabi natin na matigas ang ulo, di ba? Ito talaga ang experience natin. Kasi kaya naman, takot sila na malaman kung ano ang kondisyon nila. So, yun dapat din ang gawin natin yung mga health staff ay dapat din maturuan ng proper behavior on how to handle the patient's special needs. Kasi isa din sa mga reason ay ayaw nilang pumunta sa mga health facilities kasi nahihiya or di naman kaya or mag-visa daw ang mga tao or ang ating mga health facility staff. Kaya sinasarili na lang nila ang kanilang mga nararamdaman. Kaya nagiging cause of delay ito sa pagpunta sa ating mga health facility. Second cause, delay in reaching the health facility. Dahil sa layo or kakulangan sa transportation or di naman kaya yung masamang daanan, ang ating mga bilang sa ating mga participants na nandito ngayon ay yung mga first line of defense kumbaga sa ating community, maaari naman tayong mag-advise sa kanila na if may mga nararamdaman sila or di naman kaya ay parating mataas yung mga blood pressure nila or complicated ang kanilang pagbubutis, sana mag-advise na rin tayo na kung pwede, maghanap na lang sila ng malapit na may-stayhan sa ating mga health facilities. Kung baga doon muna sila habang hindi pa sila nanganganak or di naman kaya after nilang manganak, mag-stay muna sila doon at hindi muna umuwi sa kanila kasi nga malayo or mahirap ang daanan para if may mga emergencies, madali sila makapunta sa ating mga health facilities. So the third is delay in receiving proper or adequate care. So dahil kulang ang kagamitan or kulang sa trained staff or di naman kaya mahina ang referral system. So, ang lahat ng mga maternal deaths na nangyayari ay pwede i-prevent. So, bago pa man magbuntis, dapat talaga tayong mga babae handaan ang pagbubuntis. So, dapat tayo ay may tamang kaalaman sa family planning. This includes understanding different methods to plan and space pregnancies, knowing how to use contraceptives, being aware of the health benefits for both parents and children, and making informed decisions about when and how many children to have. So, isa pa na dapat natin gawin na paghahanda ay ang pag-iwas sa maagang pagbubuntis or usually referring to avoiding pregnancy during the teenage years or before a person physically, emotionally, and financially ready to have a child. So, other thing na dapat natin i-prepare ay ang ating nutrition at bakuna. So, before tayo magbuntis, kailangan talaga yung sarili natin is prepared. So, getting the right kind and amount of food helps the body grow and stay healthy and fight off sickness. So, also, vaccines or bakuna, on the other hand, it will help build immunity so that the body can fight off infections. So, how to prevent maternal death while pregnant or habang buntis? So, dapat kumpletuhin dapat ang 8 antenatal check-ups. Diba na-mention doon ni Doc Chen kanina? Kumonsulta sa mga field health workers. So, to prevent naman maternal death while panganganak or pagkatapos ng panganganak, dapat sa health center or health facilities lang tayo dapat manganak ang mga babae. Iwasan na po natin yung mga sinaunang pamamaraan ng pagpapaanak kung saan sa bahay lamang. Kasi if ever may emergency, talagang mahihirapan or matagalan pa tayo pagpunta sa health facility. So, dapat din magpatingin ng regular or sumailalim sa mental health screening or tamang pagpapasuso at family planning ang mga bagong panganak ng mga nanay. So, mahalaga rin ang papel ng pamilya at ang ating communities. Samahan ang buntis sa check-up. So, dapat may support talaga ang ating buntis, no? Siguraduhin may sasakyan papunta sa line-in o hospital. Kasi if ever malayo ang bahay ni buntis, tapos may mga emergencies, hindi naman siguro tama na palakarin natin ang buntis papunta sa health facility. So, paano natin matugunan yung mga emergencies na nararamdaman ng isang buntis na nanay? Hikayatin din ang pagpapanganak sa facility or sa health facilities at dapat suportahan natin ang mga batang ina or yung mga na-experience ang early pregnancy. So, yun na nga sinasabi natin na ang mga staff or mismo yung mga kasama natin sa bahay ay dapat maintindihan nila kasi nangyari na dapat maintindihan nila ang sitwasyon ng isang teenager at lalong-lalo na sa health facility ang mga staff dapat professional sa pagtanggap sa kanila. So, ang pinaka-importanteng aral ng topic na ito, no, ay maaaring maiwasan ang maternal death kung maagap, sapat, at tama ang serbisyo na ating ibinibigay. So, lahat tayo, ang pamilya natin, community or komunidad, at ang gobyerno ay may bahagi sa pagligtas ng buhay ng isang ina. So, salamat po ng marami no, Doc Chen, for sharing the knowledge about the topic. We know na alam din to ng ating mga partners kung saan sila yung first line doon sa ating community, pero mas naging maalam sila at mas aware sa mga risks and prevention na ating magagawa. Di lang sila ang nasa community or kung sila ang doon ang humaharap una bago sila mag-refer ng mga patient doon sa malalaking health facility. So, maraming salamat po sa lahat again nang nag-attend ng ating caravan session for today. So, sa Bagong Pilipinas, kung bawat piece mahalaga. So, I'll be giving back the virtual floor to our moderator, Ms. Mary Rose. Back to you po.
Thank you very much po, Ma'am Jo, for that insightful reaction from the topic. Okay? So, before we conclude our session for today, just a quick reminder po that we have dropped the evaluation link in the chat box below. Kindly take a moment to fill out the form. And sa mga hindi pa po nakapag-attendance, kindly click the chat box as well and click the link po to proceed. As we come to the close of today's caravan session, we would like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for your dedicating your time, energy, and commitment to this important gathering. Your active participation and thoughtful contributions have truly enriched our discussions. On behalf of our Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ma'am Nympha Diekong, and the entire National Nutrition Council Region 19, we express our deepest gratitude for your engagement and collaboration. So for our closing message, I will turn our virtual floor to our Nutrition Officer 2, Ma'am Rowens Abzarilla, for the closing message.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Yu. So as we come to the close of this very insightful session, allow me to extend our sincerest gratitude on behalf of our Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ma'am Nympha Diekong, to each one of you for your active participation and presence today. A special thank you goes to our distinguished resource speaker, Dr. Cheryl Sarmiento, Dr. Cheng, for generously sharing your expertise on the causes of maternal mortality and its prevention. Your presentation has really deepened our understanding on the challenges many women face, and more importantly, the ways we as health workers, advocates, and program implementers can contribute to meaningful solutions. Maternal health is not just a health issue. It is a human rights issue, so a development issue, and a matter of dignity and equity. So the knowledge we gain today must now translate into action in our barangays, our municipalities, cities, and provinces. Let us continue working together to ensure that no mother loses her life in the process of giving life. Once again, thank you for being with us today. May we carry forward the lessons from this session and remain steadfast in our commitment to protect and promote the health and well-being of all women and mothers in Zamboanga Peninsula. Maraming salamat po, and may you all have a safe and productive day ahead. Good morning po, everyone.
Thank you so much po, Ma'am Wens. Thank you po, everyone. Thank you once again for your valuable time and unwavering support. We look forward to your continued support in our future initiative. Good morning once again, and stay safe po, everyone.
Bye.
Hello there, mga mami. dapat para malusog kayo ni baby. Remember mga nanay, breastfeeding malaking bagay. Ito'y pagpatuloy kahit na over 2 years old. Tamang nagpison kung bakit yan ang tamang solusyon. I like it, laking one, oh, 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 yan. Tamang paraan at tamang solusyon. Kung bakit yan ang tamang solusyon. I like it, laking one, oh, 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 yan. Tamang paraan at tamang ang iyong little girl or boy, sustansya'y dapat puno